Hello and welcome. In the fast-paced world of technology, things can go from perfectly calm to completely chaotic in a heartbeat. But what if I told you there's a quiet superpower, a special skill that can turn all that chaos right back into calm? Today, we're going to dive into an inspiring story about this very skill, one that can transform a really stressful crisis into a controlled, manageable situation. It's called Rollback Awareness. So, picture this. It's late in the afternoon. A dedicated team is deploying a planned system change. They've checked every box on the list. All the tests look solid. There's a real feeling of confidence in the air. And then the change goes live. For a few moments, there's just the quiet hum of the servers. It's that peaceful sound of success, But then, a single notification breaks the silence. The first message arrives. It's a simple message, but wow, it carries a lot of weight. Citrix is slow. Now, if you're not familiar with Citrix, it's a system that lets people access their work applications from anywhere. So when it's slow, it means work just stops. And sure enough, another message follows. I can't launch my app. The calm is starting to dissolve. It doesn't take long. Within just a few minutes, it's undeniably clear that something is seriously wrong. The whole atmosphere in the room just shifts. You can feel it. Eyes are locked onto dashboards. Everyone's searching for answers. The pressure is rising with every single second. And right here, in this critical moment, the entire outcome of the next hour, or maybe even the next day, it all hinges on the answer to a single question. Can we roll back? This is where our story splits, creating two parallel realities. It's a tale of two paths, where one team is prepared, and the other, well, they're not. Let's walk down these two roads and see what happens. In reality one, the team decides to fix forward. They hesitate to undo their work, right? They're hoping they can just quickly find and fix the problem on the live failing system. The pressure keeps building. But in reality two, we see the rollback ready team. They're different. They act calmly, decisively, and they execute a procedure they already prepared. And the result? It's immediate. The environment stabilizes and they regain complete control. In that first reality, hours just crawl by. The team, they do eventually find a fix, but the damage is done. The system was unstable for way too long, and something incredibly important has been shaken: the trust of their users. But in the second reality, the story is completely different. The system is back online within minutes. Now, the problem still needs to be solved, of course, but the investigation can happen in a calm, controlled state, not in the middle of a full-blown crisis. And this, right here, is the heart of our story. The difference between these two outcomes wasn't luck, and it wasn't about being some technical genius in the heat of the moment. It was, quite simply, preparation. So let's talk about that. Why is the simple act of going backward such a powerful strategic advantage? What really makes it so effective? At its core, rollback is the ability to instantly restore a system to a state you know for certain was working. In these complex environments, certainty is, well, it's a rare and valuable thing during an outage. Rollback brings that certainty right back. Think about the power of this for a second. A rollback instantly cuts down the number of things that could possibly be wrong. It gets you back on safe, stable ground where you can analyze the problem calmly without all that pressure. And most importantly, it contains the mistake. It stops it from spreading and causing even more damage. The simple act of containment, well, it's the very foundation of a professional and responsible incident response. But if rollback is so powerful, why don't teams use it every single time? Well, the answer often has less to do with technology and a lot more to do with human psychology. Let's be honest, hitting the undo button on something you've worked really hard on can feel a bit like admitting defeat, right? There's this natural temptation to just push forward, to prove you can solve the problem without retreating. But seasoned professionals, they've learned to see this differently. This is the key mindset shift. Rollback isn't surrender. It's a strategic move. It's choosing the path that leads to stability the fastest. Because during an incident, the mission is not to protect our pride. The mission is to restore service for the people who depend on it as quickly and as safely as possible. And often, the fastest path to stability is backward. Recognizing that is a strength, not a weakness. So how do we turn this awareness into action? Well, it starts with having a system. Rollback isn't about improvising, it's about having a solid framework. Let's walk through a simple 5-step framework. First up, define. Before you even think about deploying a change, you have to define the exact path to roll it back. Second, preserve. Always keep a snapshot or a backup of the last known good state. Think of it as your safety anchor. Third, time box. Decide on a strict time limit for troubleshooting. Maybe it's 10, maybe 15 minutes. If the problem isn't fixed by then, you roll back, no questions asked. Fourth, document. Write down the rollback steps in simple, clear language that anyone can follow even under pressure. And finally, number 5, practice. Rehearse your rollback drills so that when a real crisis happens, panic is replaced by a calm, familiar procedure. You know, when you build this framework, something amazing happens. Your team's culture actually begins to change. Rollback just becomes normal, a part of engineering discipline, not some source of embarrassment. And ironically, having a strong safety net doesn't make you timid. It makes you more confident to innovate because you know you can recover from mistakes. You become resilient. This all leads to a resilient mindset. It's a fundamental shift in how you approach change. It replaces fear with control, and it really truly is a superpower. So as we come to a close, if there is just one thought you take away from our story today, please let it be this. Rollback isn't a backup plan you hope you never have to use. It is a core part of the plan, designed and ready from the very beginning. And so the next time you're preparing for a change, before you push that final button, just take a quiet moment. Ask yourself and ask your team this simple but powerful question. If this goes wrong, how fast can we go back? The answer you find won't just tell you if you're ready for the change, it will tell you that you were ready for anything.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye bye.